Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 6th Annual British Heart Foundation Heart Hero Awards. Please welcome to the stage Chief Executive of British Heart Foundation, Dr. Charmaine Griffiths.
Hi, what a wonderful evening. Good evening, everybody, and a warm welcome to the British Heart Foundation Heart Hero Awards 2023. Are you having a good evening? Oh, come on, look at that. As Chief Executive of the British Heart Foundation, it really is my privilege to open these awards that celebrate the most incredible achievements of our heart heroes. And these heroes have gone above and beyond to make a difference for other people. So as well as our fabulous guests here in the room this evening, I'd also like to extend a warm welcome to those people joining us across the UK through our live stream as well. So welcome, it's lovely to have you with us as well. So tonight is a testament to the power of compassion and determination as we gather here to recognise the people who've made a significant impact in our ongoing fight against heart and circulatory diseases. But I know you'll join me in knowing that tonight is far, far more than an award ceremony. These Heart Hero Awards are the embodiment of how so many incredible people in so many ways power our work to save and improve lives. And I know that you're going to love the fantastic evening ahead. And I always say the BHF has more than a little bit of magic about it. It unites the world's most brilliant scientists, inspirational volunteers, the most incredible fundraisers, partners and colleagues. And together we continue to make a difference as part of our BHF family, week after week, month after month and year after year. So to all of the amazing people here, you are the heartbeat of the BHF. And although we'll be announcing tonight's winners and highlighting some incredible nominees, every single person nominated is a true heart hero and has played a vital part in helping BHF save and improve lives. So on behalf of everybody in our BHF family, let me offer you our heartfelt thanks to every single one of you. And a big thanks as well goes to our official headline partner, Mattioli Woods, for their incredible support. And thank you also again to Laerdal Medical for their wonderful support of our CPR Heart Hero category. We're going to be hearing from you later on this evening. And thanks also to our brilliant sponsors, Travel Lodge, who kindly donated rooms to allow some of our Heart Hero guests to attend tonight, and to Hawk Flowers for the beautiful floral arrangements. And also a special thank you to singer-songwriter with us, Ines Ray, who is here tonight. Hi, Ines. There you go. Oh. And Ines has kindly shared her music with us. So the music we'll be hearing throughout the awards is Ines, so thank you for that. So it's really special, really wonderful to welcome so many guests in our audience, as well as our incredible judges had the most unenviable task of choosing winners from 170 entries. And of course, whilst tonight is a moment of celebration, it is also a moment to reflect on the life-saving research we do and couldn't do without your support. From 3D printed hearts and internal defibrillators to regenerative medicine, our groundbreaking research is saving and improving lives. And we can only do that with your support, turning visionary ideas from the realms of science fiction into life-saving treatments and cures. And of course, we continue to drive the importance of learning CPR, being ready for that day, and also being there for families, supporting people through living with a heart condition when they need us most. You probably don't need me to say we're facing huge challenges right now, the most in BHF's 62 years, with the tragic reality being that millions of people's hearts are still vulnerable. More and more families are facing an agonizing wait for heart care and waiting for treatments and cures to save and improve their lives and giving their families hope. So I'd like to take a moment to recognize the families involved in the BHF who have recently lost loved ones, and I know there'll be many more beyond as well. I invite you to join me just taking a few moments silence to remember these families and the millions of people affected by heart disease every year. Thank you. And turning back to tonight, what an opportunity it is for us to celebrate together, to celebrate the collective power and strength and determination and courage of our heart heroes. And I think we're going to show them how proud we are of them all this evening. And I know this evening is going to inspire us all to strive even further so that we work towards a future where no family loses a loved one to heart disease too soon. And of course, one more thank you. I can't think of anyone better to host this celebration this evening. And in my eyes, it wouldn't be a Heart Heroes Awards without him. So please let me welcome our incredible British Heart Foundation Ambassador, Vernon Kay. Come and join us, Vernon. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Come on.
Hi everyone, good evening. That was terrible. Come on everyone. Hi everyone, good evening. We are in for a great night, and as we've just heard, we are being live streamed, so if everyone turns to the back and just waves. There you go. Perfect. Welcome everyone watching online. It's nice to have you with us, and I'm absolutely delighted to be hosting the British Heart Foundation Heart Hero Awards 2023 for the 5th year. So thank you, Shemaine, for that amazing introduction. And huge thanks to you all for joining us here tonight. This is an event to recognise the fantastic effort of BHF supporters and those determined to make a difference to people living with heart and circulatory disease. We have 7 Heart Hero Award categories to share with you tonight, as well as the stories of some of our phenomenal CPR heroes. It's a fantastic achievement to have been nominated, and even more so to have got to this stage. So well done, everyone, and let's take that opportunity to applaud everyone who's made it so far. Well done. Now, just a little bit of housekeeping. Doors to manual cross-check before we start. Please can the winners and special guests come up on stage from the left. In brackets, it says, gesture to your right. Please step to the right for a photo and then leave the stage, please, to the right, in brackets, gesture to your left. There you go. Now, after you've been presented with your award, you will have some quick photographs taken up here on the stage, and then you will be ushered out of the door for more photographs outside on the red carpet. Thank you very much. I just want to reiterate that it is an amazing achievement to have made it through to this stage of the awards. You are all heart heroes, and on behalf of BHF, thank you very, very much. So let's begin with our first category, which is BHF Research Story of the Year. And to announce this year's winner, we have 3 very special presenters. Please give a warm welcome to the stage BHF Ambassador Pippa Middleton, alongside BHF supporters Callum Morris and his mum, Nicola Morris. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. I am delighted to be here tonight amongst so many inspirational people. The BHF Research Story of the Year Award spotlights some of the extraordinary BHF-funded work taking place across the UK and how it's been shared with the public. Earlier this year, our winner was chosen by the public through a vote hosted on the BHF website. BHF Professor Massimo Caputo at the University of Bristol is developing a new revolutionary type of heart plaster that could improve the way surgeons treat children living with congenital heart disease. So let's hear more about this revolutionary science.
I'm mainly dealing with neonate infants, children born with congenital heart disease, which is the commonest things babies are born with. The research is about trying to avoid repeat operations all the time because of the material that we use now is not good. So it means it gets rejected by the body. So if we implant, if we use a patch or a tube when the baby is born, you can understand this material does not grow with the babies and becomes narrow and becomes very rigid. These kind of research ideas, they come from the patients themselves or the parents, because they come every time to the surgeon and say, why do we need to come back for an operation again? You know, normally these babies, when they 1 year of age, another operation, then they, you know, when they are 5, 6, another operation, and it's like constant life under the knife, as we say. So that's why we are trying to create a material which is seeded with cells that can grow with the child and not being rejected, and hopefully avoid all these very high risk and painful operations. Potentially it can help a lot of patients, because if you avoid more heart operations in the future, you reduce the risk of the operations, you improve the quality of life of these children who, you know, they are very young, and even in their adulthood period, they're still very vulnerable, and each operation carries a great risk also, not also physically, but mentally as well. The dream is to create a material which could be a patch or a tube or a valve which stays forever with the child, and so they don't need to come for reoperations over and over again. The real drive for me is not to see my patients again, which is quite funny in a way, because you do want to keep in touch with them, and you do. They send you lots of pictures, lots of photos when they're growing up. But to see them coming for an operation, it really affects you know, your work, because you know that I got children myself. You know, to have those children coming every other year for another operation, it's really heartbreaking sometimes. I think the public should vote for this research, because babies born with congenital heart problems is very common, but also because these children really go through a very difficult times every time it comes for another operation. So they are the real heroes of this, and they really deserve this kind of award.
Truly incredible work. Before we award Professor Caputo, we have two very special guests with us here tonight. This young man was a patient of Professor Caputo. Please give a very loud and warm welcome to Callum Morris and his mother Nicola.
Thank you, Pippa, and hello everyone. This is quite daunting, so please bear with us. So my name is Nicola Morris, and I'm very proud mum of Callum.
Hello everyone, I'm Callum, and I've been a patient of Professor Mattioli Caputo since I was born. I have a condition called truncus arteriosus, which means that the main arteries did not form properly and had to go through several surgeries.
So at 10 days old, Professor Caputo performed a 7-hour life-saving open heart surgery on Callum. Since then, Callum has had 4 further major heart surgeries, all performed by Professor Caputo and his team. The last one was an emergency procedure, and although Professor Caputo wasn't operating that day, when he heard that Callum had had to go to surgery, he went and assisted. Callum is now 17 years old, and we are so thankful to Professor Caputo's dedication and to the British Heart Foundation for funding life-saving research which has helped save Callum's life. Thanks to Professor Caputo and his incredible team, Callum has been able to achieve dreams that other boys take for granted, such as playing football. To Callum and our whole family, Professor Caputo is simply a hero. So Callum, would you like to do the honours?
I am delighted to announce that the BHF research story of the Year goes to Professor Massimo Computer.
Yes, well, I actually didn't know Callum was coming, so when he saw me here, I said, "Not you again, please." Well, thank you so much. I have to say so many thanks to lots of people, but starting from BHF staff has supported me so much. My team on Theatre 9, they supported me all the time, but I think the real hero is Callum here. I met him when he was born 16 years ago. And as I say, every time he comes into hospital, he says, "No, not you again, please don't." So, yeah, thank you very much for all this, and appreciate it.
What an amazing way to start. Once again, come on, show your appreciation. Thank you, everyone. Professor Caputo, thanks to Pippa as well. And a very huge thank you to our very special guests, Callum and Nicola. Now then, this year we received scores of incredible stories of those who bravely stepped in to attempt to save someone's life from cardiac arrest through CPR. Throughout tonight's event, we'll hear some amazing stories of some of our CPR heroes, and we will award them all at the end of the ceremony. Many of us have learned CPR thinking we will never need to use it, but you never know. But for our life-saving CPR heroes, their knowledge of CPR was put to the ultimate test, and it's quite a daunting situation to be thrown into. These people not only had the skills, but had the courage and the confidence to step in and perform CPR when someone else's life was hanging in the balance. The next two films highlight such life-changing situations.
When he had his cardiac arrest, it definitely brought us a lot closer. It just sort of, it's a bad situation, but it made him sort of really thankful for me the way I was already really thankful for him. So before the cardiac arrest, we had just gone to a weekend festival. We'd literally just driven back, and then we came into the back of the alleyway behind our old flat and tried to put things away, and then he just went straight down, and I just, because he's had heart attacks in the past, I kind of knew that it was something like that, so I just jumped straight into I need to do something. When it happened, I was quite scared at first. I was a bit panicky. The first thought that came to my mind is, I don't want him to die, he can't die. Came to the realisation that neither of us had our phones on us. We'd left them both in the car, and his car keys were in his back pocket, so I had to use his belt loop at the side of his waist to pull him over onto his front and take the keys out of his pocket and run to the car to get my phone. Once I got my phone, I called 999 and they talked me through how to do the CPR. He was struggling to talk at the time when he was still in hospital, but he did a lot of squeezing my hands and he was crying quite a bit, and he wrote down thank you a few different times, and yeah, it was nice to see that he was thankful for it, but I was just glad he was alive.
Well, the weekend I had the cardiac arrest, no indication anything was going to happen. I had a great weekend. And Judy tells well, I said to her on the way home, one of the best weekends of my life. After I came out of hospital, 2 weeks in a coma and a week coming out of it off the drugs or whatever. And to find out what happened was quite bizarre, because I obviously didn't remember any of it. And to find out what Judy had done for me, giving me CPR till the ambulance turned up. And I was like, why the hell am I still here? I mean, I found out what Judy had done for me. From visitors and the nurses, Ginny didn't say a thing just after, she just kept it quiet. Someone found out that she'd saved my life. I don't know what to think. I was like, obviously very, very grateful to her. I can't even remember how I felt really. It was just shock really, I think. It's like, really? She did that? Well, I must have thanked Ginny more than once, I'm sure, as she knows how grateful I am to her. But I didn't think it was enough. And when I heard about that British Heart Foundation Awards, I thought, well, I'm going to put her forward for it. I know it happened a few years ago, and it's only coming off this year's awards, but it's a bit of acknowledgement and a bit more recognition of what she did, which was pretty amazing stuff, really. She was 16 at the time. I'd just like to say to Ginny that I'm so grateful for what she did. The same thank you was not enough.
When I was a minor, I was a fully trained first aider. In the later stage of my mining career, on an update on my first aid certificate, I was taught to do CPR. I was in the bar at Grangeville Working Men's Club, and there was a function going on in the singing end. This lady who was sitting 3-4 along from me shouted, "Rear, rear, rear." She says they've just been to the door shouting for somebody with medical to go into the singing end. Somebody's collapsed, and she was lying on the floor, and immediately I asked what had happened, and apparently she'd been dancing and went to go to the bar and just went on the floor. So I immediately started CPR while somebody was talking to the ambulance service to get an ambulance. 4 days later, a message on Facebook asking me if I was the Ray McDermott that had saved the lady's life in the club on the Saturday night, and I replied back, and apparently it was the lady's daughter. So she said, "Oh, don't worry, she's back, she's all right, she's had stents put in, and she's got a pacemaker fitted." And I thought, oh, that's brilliant. And anyway, one Sunday morning, I'm sitting in the club, and the door opens, and this lady walks in and says, "Is there a Ray McDermott knocking about in here?" She came across, and she gave me a big hug and said, "Ray, you don't realise how much you've saved my life and how much I've gained from the work that you performed. They told me at the hospital if it hadn't have been for you, I wouldn't be here." I was full of tears, but it was with happiness rather than sadness. It was brilliant. Anyway, she said, "I've got something for you." And she gave me the card, and I read the card, and it really went to my heart.
And I was just so proud of him, because he didn't have to do that. He risked a lot doing it with his own health and his own age. Word got around what had happened in the club, and someone said to me, "Oh, the British Heart Foundation do these CPR awards. And there's a charity shop in Chelsea Street, British Heart Foundation, charity shop." So I walked in, and there was a poster up. So I literally went to the local coffee shop, sat and did the nomination. I think it was a couple of days later when I sort of got the courage to say, "I haven't asked your permission, I've just actually done this." And he was kind of like, as he said, a little bit embarrassed, but I said, "No." I said, "You're 78-year-old and you put yourself on the line for someone else, and it's paid off, and that's why I've done it, because I'm proud of you."
People are brilliant, aren't they? There are some good people amongst us. We get inundated with bad news, you know what I mean? Our mainstream media, it's bad news. You turn on the telly, it's bad news. But trust me, there are great people amongst us, great people in Great Britain. So once again, bravo, great story. Now let's move on to our next Heart Hero Award. BHF Sustainability Partner. To tell us all about this, we have not one, but two presenters. Please welcome to the stage actor, entrepreneur, and BHF Retail Ambassador Kimberly Hart-Simpson, and also editor, author, and sustainable fashion campaigner Tiffany Dark. Thank you, Tiffany. Just run up to the back. Apologies.
I was like, talk amongst yourselves, everyone, because I'm at the back. Hello, and thank you, and good evening to you all. We are delighted to present a BHF Sustainability Partner Award.
Now, the recipient is a valued British Heart Foundation partner, improving sustainability and helping to avoid tons of items going into waste streams while supporting British Heart Foundation to resell and recycle throughout their shops. Our partnership with this year's winner launched in August 2021 after they approached British Heart Foundation initially as a solution to find home for pre-loved clothing from their donation scheme, part of their wider sustainability strategy.
And this year's winner sends pre-loved shirts and other clothing items to their warehouse where British Heart Foundation collects them. BHF collects on average of 25 pallets of stock per month from our winner, which equates to 11,000 items a month. These donations are then sold in BHF shops to raise funds for vital life-saving research.
I mean, honestly, this is the circular economy at work. So in December 2022, the partnership had already reached its original 3-year target of £1 million, surpassing its goal in just 15 months. And by the end of August this year, not only had the partnership helped divert 26 tons of clothing items from waste, just imagine that, it saved an estimated 250,000 kilograms of carbon emissions, which is a lot, but they also hit a mammoth £2 million milestone.
So let's find out more and see who our winner is.
Hi, I'm Lewis. I started in the stockroom at Jermyn Street 7 years ago, but now, today, I'm store manager here at London Bridge. And one of the things I love about the business is progression and the hunger for progression. And that hunger is embedded in the business's culture. We pride ourselves on giving fantastic service here at Charles Tyrwhitt, and that starts every day by treating customers just as they are, human beings. When a customer walks in need of something, we make sure they leave with more than just the items they came for, whether it be smiling, laughing, on a first name basis. We want to make sure we made that wedding, interview, any event they go to, just that bit easier. Making it easy for men to dress well is exactly what we do every day and will continue to do every day. I love that CT didn't take to the cracks on sustainability. We said, this is who we are, but this is who we wanted to be, and we're getting much better. With our brand new shirt recycle scheme, you can bring in any shirt from any business and we'll give you a discount on some brand new shirts. And with those shirts that you bring in, they'll go to the British Heart Foundation to be recycled to use for new customers.
I think what you are doing to support BHF and to be more sustainable is phenomenal. We are delighted to announce that this year's BHF Sustainability Partner is
Charles Tyrwhitt.
Awesome. I know what everyone's thinking. I've got a ton of shirts in my wardrobe that I'm going to take to Charles Tyrwhitt and get a percentage discount. Thank you very much. Well done to Charles Tyrwhitt and the team, and of course thank you to Kimberly and Tiffany as well. On to the next award. It's our Fundraising Hero. Now this category recognises the incredible fundraisers who have started or continue to support BHF in raising much needed funds for cardiovascular research. To present this award, he's a legendary footballer and she's a professional skater. They are both BHF ambassadors. It's power couple David and Frankie Seaman.
Good evening, everybody. We're absolutely delighted to be here and to present the Fundraising Hero Award, demonstrating the passionate and enthusiastic fundraisers who go above and beyond for the BHF. This was a very strong category, which the judges had real difficulty in choosing.
Our winner this... Sorry, I'm a little bit emotional. Our table started crying, actually, when Callum came up, so... it's an emotional evening, but it's a lovely evening, and our winner's entire family has been touched by heart disease, including her mum, who was one of 9 children who were all affected with heart-related illnesses. Back in 2008, our Fundraising Hero started raising funds after losing both her parents to heart disease before they even reached the age of 60. Initially, she was fundraising alone, but our winner, and she's quite a force of nature, she corralled the support of local organisations and their church and is now a founding member and treasurer of the Amber Valley Fundraising Group. So, let's see who this year's winner is.
I'm happy that the grandchildren are involved and fundraising, and hopefully as time goes on they'll understand just why we're doing it. I was inspired to fundraise for the British Heart Foundation on the loss of 11 members of my family, including both my parents, very young. And I didn't want it to happen to my children and my grandchildren. The Amber Valley Fundraising Group came about because my husband and I wanted to raise money in this area. We've done lots of different types of fundraising. We've raised ferrets, live ferrets. We've had tombolas where everything's wrapped in red. We've collected at supermarkets. The local choir, Alfred Male Voice Choir, they ask us every Christmas to be with them as they do their concerts. And we organise a swim-a-thon every year, mostly when you're standing at a supermarket with your bucket, and people are very open. So far, to date, we've raised approximately £62,000. I've roped in my family. I asked my husband if he would join me when we started the group up. My daughter is in the fundraising group. My other daughter always comes up when she can to support in activities we do. So they're very, very helpful. By receiving this award, I feel very proud and honoured. I'd like to say thank you to everybody that supported us. And thank you to all the members of the Amber Valley group for when I ask them to do something, suggest something, they always do. Hopefully the Amber Valley Fundraising Group go from strength to strength. We're always looking for new members. Things booked, swim-a-thon booked for next year, ferret racing booked for next year. So yes, we'll go from strength to strength, hopefully. I talk to my grandchildren about British Heart Foundation. They know we do the swim-a-thon every year to raise money. My grandson, who's 9, he swam last year. He managed to do 6 lengths and he's swimming again this year. And my other granddaughters, they come up for the ferret racing. They all know. I'm happy to receive the award, but I don't think I deserve it. I'm not special. To be at an awards evening with all these people that have achieved so much, I'm just in awe of it all.
Well, we think you're special and a very deserving winner. What an incredible matriarch of a beautiful family and such dedication to the British Heart Foundation.
We're thrilled to announce that this year's fundraising hero is Pat Churnside.
The total's gone up, it's now 66,000. We did exceptionally well with our swim-a-thon, And my grandson actually swam 25 lengths this year. So thank you very much.
Congratulations, Pat. Awesome stuff. Ferret racing. We're having a bit of that. Absolutely. Ferret racing. Love it. Congratulations, and once again, thank you, David and Frankie. Now, on to two more incredible stories of our CPR heroes.
Sometimes I look at him and I think, Jesus, especially when I'm pulling his leg and I'm thinking, what he's done for me, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him.
On the day Craig's cardiac arrest, we'd been to the gym on the morning. We were both working out together, same as normal. He came out, he just said he felt really tired. So we had our normal conversation outside of the gym of if we were going to walk in or whatever. We were both getting ready to go in our own cars. He just turned around and said something. I think I might take the car because I don't feel so good. I was just got into work having a conversation with one of the lads in the factory. My phone rang. It was Victoria, just saying, have you seen Craig or spoken to Craig? And I just said, yeah, I've just finished talking to him on the phone. And she said, just can you go and find him? Something's wrong. And obviously, just by the tone of the voice, I thought there's something not right. So I just literally went straight out of work to the end of the road, turned the corner, and as I drove down the road, his car was parked up at the side. I looked at his face, slumped forward at the steering wheel, just like a grey-blue colour in his face. And I just knew he was something serious at that point. And then that's when the panic sort of set in of I had to act straight away. But it was just a case of getting him out the car, which wasn't easy. I went unfortunately because we were both tired. Well, I was tired from the gym anyway. Getting him out, and I think I just literally laid on the side of the road with him and just started doing CPR straight away. I still brush off what I did. I was there at the right time, it happened, and I did what I could do at the time, and it was enough. I don't feel proud about it. It's just, it happened and I dealt with it at the time, and luckily he came through.
Kev come to me and said, have I been entered for a nomination? I was like, well, yeah, Victoria suggested, and I agreed, and we put you in for it. And he's not one for wanting to, he's just done it, and that's him. I've done it, I don't want any sort of praise for it. And I said to him, I'm like, for me, for him, like, it's best him, but also for his girls to see what his dad's done. So I said, like, I'd be so proud of him.
I mean, I've probably already said it to him a million times, how grateful I am for him realising that, when I rang him realising that I wasn't overreacting and that he needed to get there, doing what he did, getting Craig out of the car and starting CPR and making sure that he's Craig, he's still, every bit as daft and everything as he was before.
When I found out Louise's thoughts of Daisy, that's what was going through her mind at the time, thanks to Louise, that I was getting to see Daisy grow up.
So on the morning of the 7th of February, it was pretty much like every other working morning. So get up, get ready, take Daisy to my mum's. Got into school and I was leading the Hall of Fame assembly, so I just set the classroom up and kind of got ready to come down to the hall with the class. The kids had sat down, had music playing as they were coming in, asked them to think about what the lyrics of the song might have meant. As they'd finished and sat down and turned the music down, the children started to talk to each other. So I knelt down to speak to one of the children. I could feel my heart racing. I just felt like I was a little bit nervous. It kind of continued and then everything kind of went quiet. So I stood up to leave the room, and that's kind of like the last thing that I remember coming round. I felt like I was actually being suffocated. I remember trying to push the paramedics' hands away from my face because they had the oxygen mask on. I can remember a colleague saying, don't worry, everything will be okay.
And I was kind of like obviously just looking up at the lights and in my head thinking, wow, this has been a bit more of a dramatic assembly than I expected. So on the way to the hospital, I was told that I'd had a sudden cardiac arrest. When we got into the hospital, I was a little bit, felt like I was in a little bit of a dream, didn't really understand why it had happened. I knew about it, so I got straight on the phone to Louise just as a text and just said, if I ever win the lottery, I think I owe it to you.
When I saw Jolie lying on the floor, at first I initially thought she was like having a seizure. The way it was presenting, like her body was shaking. Came into the hall and knelt down on the floor at the side of her. And straight away I just realised that Jolie wasn't breathing because she'd stopped, like the fitting had like stopped. When I started doing chest compressions on Jolie, I was just like running through my mind, like just thinking of Daisy and thinking, you know, Daisy's going to get her mum back today. And all the videos that Jolie sent were just playing through my head. She's not growing up without her mum. I've got to keep going to get her back. When I found out Jolie had nominated me for an award, I was a bit shocked, really. The biggest reward that I have got is actually, going up. I go up to Jolie's and we have some drinks and Daisy's playing, and just to see her there with her mum is just the best reward I could ever have.
It was so important to nominate Louise because nothing I can ever do or give you will ever repay you saving my life.
Now, I'm just going to take this opportunity to make a suggestion. Next year, is it possible to change venue? Because I'm sure we're too close to the kitchen and they're cutting onions again. And, you know, I think it's a real issue for not just myself, but several people in the room. Crikey. It's always an emotional evening, and tonight is absolutely no exception. Bravo, two more great, amazing CPR Heroes. Now, this year's Heart Hero Awards are a little bit different from previous years. One category that is missing from this evening's proceedings are the Young Heart Hero Awards. However, earlier today, our young supporters had their own celebration. And to tell us a little bit more about this, please welcome to the stage TV and radio presenter and Young Heart Hero Awards host, Will and Jovu, everyone. Where are you, Will? Here he is.
And hello, everybody. Can I say, so I hosted the first ever Young Heart Hero Awards today. Can we just have a huge round of applause for those young heroes, please? They're so inspirational. And can I say, you know what, they really did come dressed to impress, right? So I was a bit worried that the adults wouldn't live up to the expectations, and but you guys came ready, so I'm here for it. I'm here for it. But this year, we received so many nominations about our wonderful young supporters that we simply had to give them their own sparkle party. We would like to thank Claire's for being our official sponsor, our official partner, to the Young Heart Hero Awards, which celebrates our young fundraisers, advocate our heart patients who have done amazing things in support of BHF's life-saving work. Everyone in attendance had a fantastic time and created some very special moments that will be remembered for a very long time. And to ensure that our young heart heroes can take part in tonight's celebration, we have a short film highlighting today's events to share with you all. Okay, so you're probably wondering, why was I on the floor with the kids? I can explain, okay? We were playing Pass the Parcel. They're very competitive. I won nothing. But it is what it is. Thank you again to all of our young heart heroes. Please give another round of applause to all of our young supporters across the country. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Will. Come on, everyone. Will and John for everyone. What a guy. Did someone say Claire's accessories? Are they in the room? No. That's a shame. We kept that company afloat through my daughter's early years. Everyone loves a bit of Claire's. Come on, quite partial to a sparkly headband myself. Now, before we all join our online audience in taking a break, we'd like to thank our official awards sponsors, everyone. Mattioli Woods for helping make tonight's event possible. Here's the corporate bit. Mattioli Woods are the leading UK provider for wealth management and employee business services. You never know, they might need a voiceover. Whenever you ring Mattioli Woods now, that's what you're going to get. Hi there, and thanks for calling Mattioli Woods. Apparently, all our assistants are unavailable at the moment. Please hold the line. And then we will discuss all your business matters.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we please ask that you take your seats as the second half of the awards is about to begin? Ladies and gentlemen, the second half of the awards is about to begin.
I beg your pardon, were you waiting for us? Sorry, that's Pat's fault. I was getting the inside scoop on the latest favourites in the old ferret racing. Thank you very much, Pat. Welcome back, everyone. Is everyone all right? All right, very good. Handkerchiefs at you ready. Here we go. Now then, we now have our 5 remaining award categories to enjoy. So let's crack on with our Survival Champion Award. Now, to tell us who this year's winner is, we have 2 presenters who are both survivors themselves. Please welcome social media influencer and YouTuber Casey Barker and professional footballer Francis Fraser-Franks, everyone. Where's Fraser?
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. It's an absolute pleasure for us to be here tonight. I was 27 when I had my heart attack, and that was actually under a year ago. I'm all recovered now, thankfully, touch wood. Hopefully it won't happen again, so I'm not going to go too much into my story, but we're on the road to recovery, and a big thanks to BHF for being part of that.
Yeah, hi everyone, I'm Fraser, and like Casey, I'm also a survivor. 4 years ago I had to retire from professional football, and 12 weeks ago I underwent open heart surgery. So I'm still recovering. I've got the last little bit of sort of pain in my chest, but that's easing up. And my story was, if I wasn't a professional footballer, I probably wouldn't be here at the minute. At 16 I was scanned. You get scanned as you go into professional football, and they noticed that I had an irregular heartbeat, and because of that they were able to monitor me a little bit, and later on in my career I had a cardiac episode after a game. Luckily for me, I contracted an infection around the heart, and they were able to look at what was going on. And for the last 4 years I've had that monitored, and as I say, 12 weeks ago had to have the operation. But I really am, one of the lucky ones. There are many people that don't get this diagnosed, and I know if it wasn't for this research, then I probably wouldn't be here. So I'm incredibly grateful for the team and for all the work that the British Heart Foundation do. And speaking for Casey and me, it really means a lot to us presenting this next award, the Survival Champion Award.
So earlier last year, BHF launched an online tool to help people learn CPR quickly, developed by BHF with their partner Laerdal Medical. Reviver is a world's first free interactive tool that teaches the user life-saving skills of CPR and how to use a defibrillator in the event of an emergency. It takes just 15 minutes and can be accessed from anywhere with just a mobile phone and a cushion.
The Survival Champion Award recognises a partner that has shared the Reviver tool access across their organisation, enabling their employees around the UK to help more people learn CPR and be ready to use it to save a colleague or a member of their community. We are delighted to announce one such partner is here this evening, and to recognise their tremendous contribution to rolling out the Reviver training to their staff and customers. The partner has also installed over 700 defibrillators in its own stores and vans across the UK, and uploaded all static defibrillators to the circuit, helping ensure ambulance services can quickly direct bystanders to a defibrillator in the event of a cardiac arrest.
Our Survival Champion Award recipient is Virgin Media O2.
So big thanks to Fraser and Casey, two amazing ambassadors, I think you'll agree, for the British Heart Foundation, because they've been there, they've experienced everything that we're talking about tonight, and hopefully, fingers crossed, coming through the other side. So I know he's left the room, but Fraser, we wish you all the very best with the operation. Now then, we move on to BHF Corporate Partner of the Year, and whilst, are you guys Virgin Media? Is she the only person from Virgin Media? What's that advert about with them goats? Do you know which one I mean? Paragliding goats. How's that going to sell you broadband? Like, my daughter's doing marketing at university, and even she's confused. I think it's now a case study. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I think, Pat, you're onto something with your ferret racing. Ferret racing increases your broadband network, courtesy of BT. Goats paragliding. That's what I think about when my internet's knackered. Tangent. Now then, back in the room. We're just talking about you. to tell us who this year's winner is, we have two sports personalities joining us, Olympic gymnast and BHF Ambassador Becky Downie. Where's Becky? Hi, Becky. And former Premier League footballer Anton Ferdinand, everyone. Come on.
Hey everyone, it's a pleasure to be here tonight amongst so many incredible people. The BHF Corporate Partner of the Year Award acknowledges one of BHF's corporate partners who have been exceptional in promoting the work of the charity, generated funds and driven awareness of the BHF funded research.
Tonight's winners first partnered with BHF in 2020-2021 during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. Their first campaign raised an incredible £1 million to help fund British Heart Foundation's research into heart and circulatory diseases. Then in 2022, BHF were proud to partner with our winner again, with a second campaign bringing in an outstanding £2 million, which is at the time was the biggest amount raised for a UK charity to date.
But the company support goes beyond fundraising. From TV advertising to paid social media promotion, newsletters, blogs, and more, our partnership with this amazing organisation has helped raise awareness and amplify the profile of BHF and its life-saving science to millions of people.
So without further ado, let's take a look at who our winners are.
Winning a Heart Hero Award means a lot to me. I have a very personal experience with my heart not working, having Takotsubo, and that almost taking my life, and I saw the impact that almost had on my family. And so knowing that we get to support the amazing work of the British Heart Foundation, who are creating a ripple effect for families throughout the UK and have been for a long time, is really an honor. The things that inspire my philanthropic drive, the desire to do good, is just the belief that we're all in this together. I think we're all interconnected. And I think when you serve others, it's incredibly fulfilling. It aligns you with a purpose. It gives you a sense greater than yourself. And I think that's the ultimate point of humanity. I think we all go through this crazy journey to, individually, but also together. And it's just what you can learn and share along the way is really what it's about. The second British Heart Foundation campaign, both British Heart Foundation campaigns were really big for us, but the second one was really special because it was the first time we got to the £2 million mark. And we started this thing to be able to support charities around the world to make fundraising much more efficient for them so that they could go out and do the work on the ground that only they can do. And so that mark, that milestone, and that amount of time was something new, and I think really sent a message to the fundraising community, and really meant a lot to our team to be able to have their work make an impact in such a short amount of time. We would like to partner with the British Heart Foundation again in the future. Again, we're huge admirers of your work, huge admirers of the team that we've got to work with and their sense of purpose and drive, and we've seen the impact and the ripple effect that you make. The need for investment in heart conditions is not going anywhere, and we're excited to continue to play a small part in that. What would I like to say to the staff at BHF and volunteers at BHF? Thank you. Your work literally saves lives. I know what it's like to have my life saved with a heart condition, and it's not just the people who end up being alive as a result of your work or have a better quality of life as a result of your work. It's their family members and their colleagues and their community members. It has a massive ripple effect in ways that you can't even really see, but we know it's there.
an extraordinary amount of money raised for vital life-saving science.
We are excited to announce that this year's BHF Corporate Partner of the Year is
Amaze UK.
I am Matt. I'm American. As you guys saw in that video, you know, my life was saved 5 years ago with a heart emergency, and it was the people doing CPR and the people doing the defibrillators and the people doing the research and the people doing the surgeries is the reason I get to be here with you all today. And you are the people in the room doing that, so that we get to support you and perpetuate your work. I can't tell you what that means to me. I can't tell you what that means to my family. So I just wanted to thank you all. It really means a lot. So, thank you.
There you go. Huge well done to Amaze UK. Did you see the house in Cornwall that was available on Amaze? That was special, wasn't it? Hey? That had Virgin broadband. Yeah. And you got a selection of goats in the backyard who could paraglide off the cliffs in Cornwall. Amazing. Big thanks, of course, to Becky Downie and Anton Ferdinand as well. We now move on to a few more stories from our incredible CPR heroes.
We'd been out, and there was a letter saying there was a parcel, and I was waiting for this parcel, so I come down.
Is Sam going down? And I said, no, I'm coming with you. No, Annie, you're all right. I'm coming with you.
I remember coming in here. That was on the Wednesday. The next thing I remember was Thursday night in hospital.
I'd literally just turned up for work. Darryl had come through the door. He'd misunderstood where I'd explained where the service delivery point was. About 2 or 3 minutes later, his wife Anne had come running through saying that Darryl had collapsed. And when I found him, he was on the floor, unconscious, with blood coming from his head.
But I said, Darryl, what? Sweetheart, come on, talk to me. He'd gone.
I didn't even think, to be honest. I just reacted to it. First thing I did, obviously, was phone the emergency services and speak to an operator. And they explained to me that Darryl had gone into cardiac arrest, so basically start CPR straight away. The CPR went on for 15 minutes, 2 compressions a second. 15 minutes, it's a long time. It was just something that I knew I had to do to help his survival rate.
Dad still did the CPR, what he was told to do. I don't know how he did it.
Well, he must have been exhausted. And then he did it well, they're saying in the hospital, I couldn't believe it was one bloke had done that for that length of time.
I'm quite a stubborn person, so it's one of them that I'd just carried on and not give up until the ambulance had turned up, set themselves up, and they were ready to take over. The air ambulance had turned up, and the doctor had turned up, and they'd give him something that brought him round properly. He was actually talking, and he was responsive. I'm so grateful.
My husband survived, and he deserves a medal. He deserves all the recognition we can give him. He really does.
What can I say to him? He's bloody, you know. Sorry about that. I just can't put into words, you know, what I think about Danny. So, well, I say save your life, what more can you say?
I've looked at other CPR training since. I'm looking to do my first aid training through work as well. I highly recommend it. I really highly recommend the CPR training. Just have an idea, because you could save someone's life.
When I found out that Cristalla had saved my life, I always knew she was an amazing woman. That's why I married her.
I was 35 weeks pregnant, so quite heavily pregnant. The day it happened, I just started my maternity leave that day. And on the Saturday morning, we'd gone to the garden centre to get some more pond plants, which was our little project for before the baby came, and the veg patch. Had friends over, so we were playing a murder mystery game. We were saying how beautiful it was to be able to do these things with our friends just before the baby came, and we knew it would be a little bit more challenging. And we went to bed all happy, and that was it. Everything changed. I heard sort of an odd noise in the bathroom. I couldn't quite put my finger on what the noise was actually, so I thought I'll get up and see if Lee's all right, because he hadn't come back. Went down the corridor to the bathroom, and I could hear what I thought was a retching noise, sort of someone being sick, and I couldn't get in. And we do have a knock on the door, but it's very unusual. Anyone would put that on in the middle of the night, shove whatever it was blocking it behind. And when I looked down, I realised what was blocking it was Lee's leg. And at this point, he wasn't really making a sound. He wasn't breathing. I could feel he wasn't breathing. I couldn't find a pulse. I don't think I was doing it very successfully anyway, but in panic mode, I just couldn't feel him breathing. So I decided to start CPR as I'm trying one-handed to ring 999. I just kept thinking, oh my God, he's not going to meet his child. I was 35 weeks pregnant. So little did I know I was 4 weeks away from giving birth. And he wasn't going to meet her because he wasn't going to live. So Martha came along, and the first time I saw him holding her was just the best feeling, because it shouldn't have happened. He should, it was just wonderful. And I remember getting straight up, even though I'd just given birth, getting straight up and getting my phone out and trying to take loads of photos of it. And it's something I've done since that point constantly, is take photos of the two of them together, because every experience is something I shouldn't have seen.
My wife not only saved my life, she gave me my daughter. And I don't mean that she just gave birth to my daughter, she gave me my life with my daughter. I owe everything to her.
Now we move on to our award for outstanding contribution, whose recipient will be extraordinary. To present this award, please welcome two extraordinary people onto the stage. NHS surgeon, clinical lecturer, author, and social media rock god, Dr. Karan, and model, BHF Ambassador and social media rock goddess, Olivia Arbon, everyone.
We're thrilled to be involved in the BHF Heart Hero Awards this evening, and we can't wait to share the stories of this very special category.
Yeah, our first outstanding contribution comes from Davina Sim. BHF is very close to Davina's heart after her husband died suddenly from a heart attack in 1987. Davina, who's now in her 80s, runs the BHF fundraising branch in Cumbria. There's an error on the auto cue. Over the years, she has raised over $60,000 for the charity by holding an annual golf competition hosted in local golf clubs. The money raised from the competitions has helped pay for several defibrillators in the town and towards the purchase of an echocardiogram ultrasound machine for the cardiology department in Cumberland Infirmary in Carlisle. She hopes that over the years, the money raised by her has supported research and the treatment of life-saving care, and it most definitely has.
Our second outstanding contribution comes from Jeff Fisher, my table buddy. Hi. 27 years ago, 4 people that Jeff knew lost their lives to heart-related problems within 12 months of each other. 2 of them were younger than himself at the time. For the past 26 years, Jeff has organised the Arm the Weight Challenge Walk, which raises over $71,000 towards the BHF cardiovascular research and to help people recover after heart attacks and other heart-related issues. So let's find out more about these phenomenal, outstanding contributions.
I started fundraising for the British Heart Foundation in the year 2000, and I chose British Heart Foundation because my husband died of a massive heart attack. We tried other things. We finished up doing the golf competition. I've got a lot of people who've played in every competition. The amount of money I've made so far is over 60,000. Never thought that this would carry on for 20 years. I've always thanked everybody who's supported me throughout the years. Without a band of helpers on the day, it wouldn't have been possible to have made the 60,000. How do I feel for the money that I have raised, that I can help a lot of other people, and the money is spent in our area at the various hospitals, and there are so many people in this area who have had heart problems. The reason why we're able to purchase these defibrillators is because we have had some very good first responders who were there to help people who'd had heart problems. And as it happened, one lady collapsed at the Heart Foundation golf competition. I got a phone call from the High Sheriff of Cumbria wanting to include the Heart Foundation in his award ceremony at Penrith, and I was quite amazed. I think my husband, he would be delighted, yeah, because he was always a generous person. What has been the most rewarding is the surprise that I got being given a Heart Hero Award and being invited to go to London. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd just like to thank the British Heart Foundation very much indeed for giving me this award. I never thought anything like this would ever happen to me. I'm afraid we've been golfers all our lives, and I tried raising money for the Heart Foundation, doing coffee mornings and rummage sales, but we kept getting into trouble with the churches and also the Women's Institute. So we disbanded that idea, and so a couple of my friends went to Doncaster to play golf, and they played in a golf competition for seniors only. The men had to be 55 and over, and the ladies 50, and came back to me and said, how about us trying this? Let's forget about the cakes and the chutneys and things. So we did. And the first competition we had 20 years ago, I had 80 couples to play. And from then it went on and on and on. And everybody had made an awful lot of friends. Thank you to the Heart Foundation. And we hopefully continue support. Somebody wanted me to travel to go on a little bit longer, another 25 years. I said, no, you don't want me coming out with the Zimmer to see you on the first tee. Thank you.
4 people I knew 26, 27 years ago unfortunately died within a 12-month period. 2 of them at the time was younger than myself. And yeah, I just wanted to do something to help the British Heart Foundation sort of generate funds so we could maybe look after these people in the future. We wanted to do something to help, didn't know exactly what we wanted to do, came up with a walk in the finish, and that's when the Armouth Way Challenge evolved, really. Stories that we hear during the walk, there's always somebody on the walk that has a relative, a friend, a work colleague that's had a problem with their hearts. Yeah, we had a gentleman participating on the 10-mile walk who just wanted to show his gratitude back to the British Heart Foundation for like a quadruple bypass he'd had a couple of years ago. It's just over 71,000 over the 26 years. That's how much we've raised. This year, the 26th anniversary of the walk, we raised 7,100. So yeah, if we can reach that magical £100,000 barrier, I'll be well impressed. Helen, my wife, without her, we couldn't have done the walk for so many years. I could have never envisaged it going 26 years from the very first year. Earlier this year in the springtime, received a letter to say that I'd been nominated and won an award from the High Sheriff of Cumbria. Very honoured to receive the award, but like I say, it's the people behind the scenes that participate and support the walk that deserves the recognition, to be honest. My friends have really supported us and not just participated on the walk. There's some companies have actually doubled funds, whatever I've raised, they've matched it. Medcalf Plant Hire, they have been very generous, and the ones that's religiously just turned up on that Sunday in September and got blisters the day after, that really needs to be thanked. I was very shocked to find out I'd even been considered for the British Heart Foundation Award. Very honoured to have received the award.
Awesome stuff. David, I think I've got us around the golf, my friend. Davina says that we are more than welcome to play next April, right? Is it the next one, the next golf day? So when's the next golf day?
Well, you can come whenever you like.
Oh.
I would have to ask the committee, man.
Yeah, that's all right. I'll do the golf, Tess can do the dancing.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
We've got good caterers as well.
Good caterers,
yes,
all right.
yeah.
That's important.
Well, do you want me to ask them to give you a date?
This is your opportunity.
Would it have to be
to sell the golf day?
The golf day.
All right, so the floor is yours. When is it?
I don't know, we haven't got one yet.
Well, we'll find out.
I'm
We'll find out, won't we?
I'm just saying, would you like to come and
Yeah,
play?
well, let's organise it. Let's sort that out then.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dave's
Well,
a good golfer. Yeah. Anyone else in the room that plays golf? Yeah, there's loads of us. Oh, we'll muster the troops, as they say.
So,
and where is it? Cumbria?
yes, Silla. Yes. Right on the Solway coast.
Oh, lovely.
Overlooking
All right, well, we'll do that.
Overlooking Criffle.
All right, well, we'll do that, Vinny. We'll do that, I promise you.
Well, if I can have an address, then I can give it to you.
You can have whatever you want, I'll be honest with you. All right, come on then.
I'll give it to the committee.
I'll give it to the committee.
And then the captain.
All right, well, yeah, let the captain decide whether we're invited.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Do you want to carry on?
No.
All right. Come on. Oh, she just said we won't charge you. Amazing. So congratulations to Davina and Jeff, our recipients of the Outstanding Contributions Award. And of course to Olivia as well, and Dr. Karan. Now then, we move on to our penultimate award, the BHF Hero of the Year. And we have another duo to present this award. Please welcome to the stage singer, songwriter Ines Ray and World and Commonwealth medalist Ben Pattison, everyone. Now, before we start, do you play golf? You can do. Well, you're the entertainment, and then we can talk about your medal journey for the post-dinner. And then we'll get Dave Seaman, tell us a couple of England stories. We are putting together one heck of a golf day here, Davina. All right, guys, the floor is yours.
Not sure how we're going to follow that, but we'll try our best. Good evening, everyone. We are so delighted to be here at the Heart Hero Awards. What an incredible night it's been so far. A bit emotional, but you know we've got here, so let's carry on. This year's British Heart Foundation Hero of the Year is a dedicated researcher who has helped to make incredible medical advances as well as touching many people's lives.
Based at St George's Hospital in London, Professor Elijah Bear has conducted detailed work into inherited heart conditions such as Brugada syndrome and the reasons for sudden arrhythmic death syndrome, also known as SADS. My dad actually had a heart transplant 2 years ago, so it's people like Professor Bear that I can't thank enough for their sort of work. Not only is his research bringing much needed answers to families who have lost loved ones in incredibly challenging circumstances, it's also improving outcomes for people living with genetic conditions too.
One such family touched by Professor Bear's British Heart Foundation funded research are the Crooks. Jodie Crook's 3-year-old daughter Sienna was diagnosed with Brugada syndrome in 2021 after having a sudden cardiac arrest, and in fact Sienna herself is the winner of a Young Heart Hero Award. In those early days, Jodie said it was reading Professor Bear's research papers into condition that brought her much needed hope at a very difficult time.
Both Jodie and Professor Bear met to create the following film to explain the importance of this work and what it means to people living with genetic condition. So let's take a look.
How do I feel about winning Hero of the Year? Tremendously honored. So my motivation for getting into the line of work of Brugada syndrome, cardiac research, but also really sudden death research, idea comes from a number of different angles. Firstly, my interest in becoming a doctor when I was a youngster. The mentors when I was a medical student who turned me onto cardiology as a subject. Then my reading and investigation around sudden death, having knowledge of sudden deaths in my own family and the impact it has to lose somebody in your family with no warning whatsoever. And so I think it does give you a perspective on what that sort of loss means because you see the impact around you. My research can benefit patients in the future in a number of different ways. First of all, we're really focused on trying to understand what the actual cause of Brugada syndrome are. The British Heart Foundation had supported my work right from the beginning. I was a British Heart Foundation scholar when I was here at St George's in the beginning of my career. And then they supported project grants, special project grants, a huge range of different levels of funding. And obviously we'll be coming to the British Heart Foundation for more and more as time goes on, because I think we're doing really exciting science at the moment, and hopefully they're going to make a big difference to families in the future. What does the BHF mean to me? Rather just thinking of it as being the funder for much of my research, I do think of it as being part of a community. It's a community for patients and for supporters.
I first came across Elijah's work when my daughter was diagnosed with Brugada syndrome. What struck me most about Elijah's work and what gave me real comfort was that he recognised my fears. And when I was at my darkest place, for him to give me that light at the end of what felt like a very dark tunnel is immeasurable, actually. Elijah's work has given me great hope that there may be a cure or better treatment options for Brugada in the future. Elijah's work really touched my heart and was exactly what I needed at my lowest point. I think it's so fitting that Elijah has won Hero of the Year. It's just an amazing achievement for a man that so clearly deserves it. And Elijah, how do you feel about winning the award?
Really touched. The fact that I've been nominated by you and others for this award and the reasons for it that you've been so clear and eloquent about. I'm tremendously honoured to be nominated for that and to actually won it. So it's amazing. Thank you.
Truly remarkable work. We are delighted to announce that this year's British Heart Foundation Hero of the Year is
Professor Elijah Bear.
You've already heard too much from me, and it's been a really emotional night. I'm quite soppy, as my wife will attest to, so it's been there've been a few tearful moments there. It's really humbling to be receiving an award like this. It's come from patients, and they're the people who we do the research for. But it's also so humbling to be here as well, because I've seen all the real heroes here, the people who've saved lives, the people who raise the money that actually supports the research that I do. And they do it with so much humility as well. So I can only really accept this award on the basis that there are many more heroes that deserve these sorts of awards as well. So thank you very much to the BHF.
And of course, Professor Bear, you are invited to the ferret racing and the golf day up in Cumbria. So congratulations to our Hero of the Year, Professor Bear, and thank you to Ines and Ben for presenting the award. Now, throughout this evening, we've heard some of the incredible stories of our CPR heroes. Now, to tell us more about 3 extraordinary life-saving efforts, please welcome to the stage S-Club members John Lee, Bradley McIntosh and Tina Barrett, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. It's a true pleasure to be here tonight. Thanks for inviting us. So our final section focuses on not only the brave individuals, but those who had the courage to perform CPR to help save a life. Many of us have learned CPR skills thinking we'll never need to use them. But for our life-saving CPR heroes, their knowledge turned into reality.
One such person was Stuart McCreath from Aberdeen. On January the 20th, grandfather of 1, Stephen Smith was returning a car at the Peter Vardy Land Rover dealership when he suffered a heart attack at the wheel, triggering a sudden cardiac arrest. The car, which was still in gear, drove into 2 stationary vehicles in the showroom. The first person on the scene was employee Stuart McCreath. Stuart bravely rushed over, smashed one of the car windows, switched off the engine, and pulled Stephen out onto the ground. Having previously been in the military, Stuart was familiar with CPR, and with the help of members of his team, he did chest compressions for 12 minutes, saving Stephen's life. This dramatic life-saving event was captured on CCTV footage. Later, Stephen commented, Stuart deserves all the praise for what he did for me. This experience has made me grateful for every new day, and I'll be forever thankful. When Stuart came to the hospital to see me, we had a surreal conversation. It was so nice to thank him in person, but can you ever thank someone enough for saving your life?
Hey everyone, I'm going to go off script a little bit and just say thank you to the British Heart Foundation for such an amazing cause. As some of you may have heard, earlier this year we lost one of our bandmates and brother, friend, Paul Cattermole. And so that's the reason why we wanted to join forces with the British Heart Foundation. So I do know how to read, but this is quite nerve-wracking, I'm going to lie. It's easier to perform at the O2 in front of 18,000 people, I'm not going to lie. Right, so in November 2022, the Lowen family were enjoying a quiet morning when John, father to Kai and Kellen, and husband to Nicola, staggered into the kitchen after doing a workout at home. John was in a terrible state and unable to speak. He slumped down into the settee and suddenly stopped breathing. Kai was 19 and had no training in CPR, dragged his dad to the floor and started performing CPR on him. Kai's sister, Kellen, ran to retrieve a defibrillator from their local village hall, which was 100 yards from their home in a rural area of Wales. While this is taking place, Nicola called emergency services. Nicola, who nominated Kai and Kellen for the CPR Hero Awards, said, "My husband John is a 1 in 10 survivor of sudden cardiac arrest out of hospital. This is down to my son Kai and daughter Kellen, whose swift actions, despite all panic, saved their dad's life. I'm so proud. Today we live a new normal. We all still have our struggles, but with the support, we are warriors."
And finally, 19-year-old Alfie Furlong and his granddad loved driving to Wolves football matches together. And once Alfie had his license, he often was the one behind the wheel. But earlier this year, Alfie was forced and faced with an awful situation. Returning from a game together, Alfie's granddad suffered a cardiac arrest in the car while Alfie was driving. Alfie was responsible for safely stopping, dragging his grandfather out of the car, phoning 999, delivering CPR in a very stressful situation to a loved one. He is the reason his granddad is alive today. And the whole family are so grateful and are in awe of his life-saving skills. They said, "We can never repay Alfie for what he has done, and the CPR Hero Award is only a small token to show our appreciation and what a fantastic person he is." Let's give a round of applause for Alfie and all these incredible heroes. Thank you.
This year, the BHF received an unprecedented number of CPR Hero nominations. The CPR stories you've heard tonight are only a few of the emotional and courageous stories that were nominated. Although not all of our lifesavers could be here tonight, every single person who was nominated is a CPR Heart Hero. Please put your hands together again for all their amazing achievements.
So, to represent all of our CPR heroes across the UK and collect their awards for stepping in to save a life, please welcome to the stage tonight's CPR Heroes. Still me. It's still me. I got one of my heroes sitting in front of me, David Seaman. How you doing, man? You right? I'm an Arsenal fan, not bad. All right. Ginny Long. Kevin Cotterill. And Louise Walton. We've
also got Dan Howells, Christala P. Davidson, Stuart McCree.
And we also have Kai and Kellen Llewellyn, Alfie Furlong, and last but not least, Jackie Hazelgrave.
So thank you to all of our CPR heroes, everyone. Absolutely awesome and truly inspirational. And you really don't know when everything that you've learned CPR-wise is going to be needed, and you're going to have to kick in and get the job done. And of course, thanks to S-Clubs, John, Tina and Bradley as well. So thank you to all our presenters, our guests, our amazing audience and everyone online. We're going to turn to the back and wave goodbye. Thank you very much for joining us. We really appreciate it. It's been a very, very, very special night, as always, and it tugs at the heartstrings. It draws a tear, but I just want to reiterate what I said at the very, very start. It makes you aware, even more aware, that good people walk amongst us. So bravo, everyone who's picked up the award. Some amazing stories from amazing selfless people, from fundraisers to researchers and heart patients as well, all supporting and helping BHF to save more lives from the devastation of heart and circulatory diseases. You've all inspired everyone in the room and, of course, watching online. I'm now going to hand you over again to our Chief Executive of the British Heart Foundation, Dr. Shemaine Griffiths, who will close this year's awards. So thank you.
Wow, my goodness. We've laughed, we've cried, and we've talked about ferrets and organised a golf event. Is everyone in for this golf event? Vernon calls it, we're in. We're all in, there we go. Firstly, my heartfelt thanks to you, Vernon, for hosting such a special evening so brilliantly yet again. It's wonderful. And it has been so special, so emotional and so inspiring to hear so many incredibly brave and powerful stories tonight. And it's these people who make our BHF family just so magical. So can I ask us to firstly give Vernon a round of applause for being such a brilliant host. Thank you. And of course, I've said this already, but turning science fiction into reality to help people is something we cannot do without our heart heroes. And I hope you all feel this evening how proud that we are of the difference you make. And so to all of you, thank you for joining us this evening to celebrate the achievements of some truly extraordinary people. And thank you for being part of our BHF family. Thank you for everything you do already to help the BHF save and improve the lives of millions of people. And I know we've all felt the difference it makes for so many people, so many families and their loved ones tonight. So I look forward to coming together again next year for our 2024 Heart Hero Awards. And nominations will be open from the 1st of February. So I hope this has inspired you, and please tell other people to nominate people that you might want to as well. And if you haven't nominated someone, please do, I encourage you, please do let us know about them so that they get the recognition that they deserve. Until then, thank you again for joining us. I hope you've had a wonderful evening and wish you a very safe journey home. Thank you and good night. Thank you.